So my recording got cut off. So I'm just going to make this like a part two of the video. So I'll post the part one and then this will be the part two. So as I was saying, I was speaking on being a good trader and how that can translate. So this is going to just be a part two of the video I posted, right? Because my recording got cut off. So I'm going to make this the part two. So I was speaking on being a good trader and how that can like translate into your real life, right? So the qualities you get from being a good trader: patience, understanding things better, knowing that there's always another opportunity around the corner, right? All of this translates into your life and you start to like become a more patient person. You become wiser, right? You understand what to stay away from. You understand the benefit in simplicity, right? You start to understand a lot of things that can help you be more productive as a person, right? And this can open a lot of doors in your life, right? In different aspects you never expected, right? In aspects you never expected, just because of how humbling it is to be a trader, right? And when you start to understand the industry you're in, and when you start to be grateful for the kind of industry you're in, having the opportunity to make money without actually doing physical labor, right? When you start to understand things like gratitude, you start to understand things like scarcity, right? You understand that things can be very scarce and you can still do more with less, right? You learn a lot of things. You basically learn a lot of things from trading, a lot of things that can be applied to life, not just about learning in general. So that it's going to be different for everybody depending on where you come from, how you grew up, and stuff like that. But you're going to learn a lot of lessons, a lot of hard lessons as well, right? Especially in terms of having expectations, right? Trading is going to humble you very, very, very quickly. So we're going to talk about how to handle a winning streak, right? So basically, a winning streak is when you're hot, right? So we're just going to put it like that. When you're having back-to-back wins, your confidence is high, right? You can't wait to trade. Like everything is going well, everything is going right. And some of the ways you should handle that is number one, you should stay humble and don't let the wins get to your head, right? This is very important because one thing you should know in the back of your mind is a loss is coming. Whether you believe it or not, right? You shouldn't be thinking about the losses coming, but you should just know in your plan that losses are inevitable, right? So that should humble you. That should make you really be like, okay, we're going to execute on our strategies. We're going to take all the trades we see, but no matter what, we should not over risk. We should not over leverage. We should not let it get to our head. We should not become overconfident to the point where we are saying, fuck it, let me flip this account. Let me make 200% today. Because the day you decide to make 200% could be the day you lose 100%, right? So maintain good risk management, right? And that comes from, as like I said, being humble, staying humble, maintaining humility, right? Knowing that anything can happen, right? And you need to stop feeling invincible because you're still going to lose, right? So a lot of people have this godlike feeling or this invincibility from being on a winning streak. Like anybody can have a winning streak, right? It all depends on the best periods that suit your strategy, right? If your strategy works very well in a volatile market, like me, my strategy works very well in a volatile market because I'm a long-term trader, swing trader, like holding trades for days, right? So 100 pips, 200 pip move, 300 pip moves, these happen in like very volatile markets, right? But they don't happen in ranging markets. So when the market is probably ranging, I'm probably not going to be as profitable as when the market is volatile and when the market is actually moving in a particular direction, right? Now I can take advantage of the trends, right? So when the market is not trending, I'm barely making any money, or I'm not making as much, right? So when the market is trending, I have to stay humble and know that, okay, a ranging market is still going to emerge. There's going to be a market that is going to move sideways, right? So you need to stop feeling invincible because your losses are still going to come. And you need to understand that your wins have very little to do with your intelligence, right? Intelligence comes in play in generating trade ideas, right? Your intelligence comes by being able to analyze the charts, do the technical analysis, do whatever other type of analysis you need to do, if it's fundamental or whatnot. That's where your intelligence plays a part. But you have no idea what's going to happen next. You cannot predict the future. You cannot see the future. You do not know the outcome of that particular trade. So your wins have very little to do with your intelligence. Intelligence plays its part, maybe 20, 30%, but the rest is up to the markets, right? So whenever you have a win, you should not feel like you did something special. You only executed a plan. And when you do lose, right, this is when the scripts flip. A lot of people start to doubt themselves. Why? Because they thought that their wins were as a result of their intelligence. And now they feel like they're no longer intelligent, right? So that's very, very bad. So these are a couple of ways you should handle your winning streak. There's probably more, right? But like these are the four main ones I could come up with. So now how to handle a losing streak as well. And this is the opposite of having a winning streak. This is where you start to have doubts. Your trades are not going as planned. You might have a little wins here and there, but your losses are outweighing your wins. But the beautiful thing about trading is when you're trading, right? 4 losses could be covered up by 1 win. 3 losses could be covered up by 1 win. So even if you have 10 losses and 3 wins, right? You're losing more than you're winning, but you're not losing as much money, right? Especially when you have your risk management in place, when you have good risk management in place. Because 1 winning trade could make up for 2 bad trades or 3 bad trades, right? So as long as you keep your head right, as long as you keep your head straight, right? Even when you're experiencing a losing streak, you're not going to lose a lot of money. You can't lose your account when you have a losing streak. But a lot of people lose their accounts when they have a losing streak. Why? They don't know how to handle it, and they have no idea how trading works, right? They still believe it is meant to be a weekly withdrawal or a monthly withdrawal thing. So they have this pressure on themselves that if I don't make profit by the end of the month or by the end of the week, then what's the point, right? So the steps you need to take to be able to handle this losing streak is number 1, focused on the next trade. You should be focused on the next one. And this comes from realizing that you have no control over the outcome. Once you know you have no control over the outcome, the only thing you can do is to keep executing trades over and over and over again systematically, right? When your loss comes, you take your loss and you go to the next trade. Even when you're in a trade, you should be looking for the next one. Immediately you place a trade, you should not go and sit down and say, let me wait for this trade to play out. You've already put expectations on that trade. You should be looking for what is the next trade to take. Because if you end up taking 4 trades, then you can have 2 losses, 2 wins, and still make money. 3 losses, 1 win, and be break even. You can still have 1 loss and 3 wins, or you can have 4 wins. There are so many ways the trades play out. But if you focus on that 1 trade and you forget about the next trade, then you've already placed the trade, the current trade, on a pedestal, and you have huge expectations from that trade. And what happens is, when the outcome is not favorable, you might start to spiral out of control. So do not let fear ruin you, right? We went over a couple of fears that you might experience in trading in a couple of videos. You can go and look back. I think it's like the second video, right, on the channel. So do not let fear ruin you. This is where you start doubting yourself, right? And again, this is because a lot of people think that the outcome comes from their intelligence. When I'm on a losing streak, like, okay, I had a losing streak from a winning streak from February. I had a winning streak from February, March, January, February, March, April, May. So basically February, March, April, 3 months, a 3-month winning streak, a 3-month winning streak. And then in May, I had a losing streak. And if you're on my Telegram channel, you know that I had a losing streak last month, right? And I'm still trying to come out of my losing streak, right? But I did not blow my account, right? A lot of people blew their accounts, right? I had an account that I was risking up to like 10% per trade, right? Don't get me wrong. I lost that account, but I also have an account where I'm very conservative, and I still have that account. I haven't blown that account yet. And I'm not going to blow that account because I'm not trying to I'm really not trying to flip it, right? I'm just being very conservative with it, right? And when you let fear win you, right? I spoke about this in the video I made about fear. When you let this fear win you, it's going to stop the way you execute your trades. It's going to ruin your performance, right? Because now you're not taking trades, you're staying out of trades because you feel a certain way, right? So you should just keep executing your system without bias. So forget about the outcome for a minute and just take the trades and approach the trades on how do I manage risk that this does not blow my account? How do I manage risk that this does not blow my account, right? And this leads to the next step, which is always take the next trade. You should always take the next trade and the next one and the next one. I always use this phrase, onto the next, onto the next, onto the next, onto the next, right? We always talk about the next, the next, the next. There's always going to be opportunities. But when you're so focused on one, you will miss the next one, right? It's like you're waiting for a bus or you're like waiting for a flight, right? Or you have to get to the airport and you miss the flight. And then they tell you there's going to be a next flight by so time, right? Are you going to sit there and be like, oh my God, I missed this fucking flight, I should have done? Or are you just going to chill and be like, okay, there's a next flight, let me not miss that one, right? A lot of people tend to do the latter, right? They tend to do like, they'll be focused on the flight that they missed or the opportunity that they missed instead of just focusing on the next one, right? So always take the next trade, always look for the next trade, right? The next one, on to the next. Keep that in mind, on to the next. And the next thing is do not risk it all on one setup. A lot of people get emotional, very emotional. They have a losing streak, a couple of losses, and then they want to risk it on the next setup. They're like, once I see this next setup, I'm going all in, right? I'm going all in. And that's revenge trading. Now they're trying to revenge, they're trying to make back what they've lost, right? So they're very, very emotionally imbalanced at this point, right? They just want to take vengeance on the market. They're seeking vengeance on the market, right? They want to make their money back and stuff like that. So you should avoid that. You should be able to talk yourself out of that, right? You should be able to talk yourself out of that. And one thing is like, you need to understand abundance, right? You need to understand abundance. You need to know that there's going to be more trades, right? And this comes from looking at things in a long-term perspective instead of in the short run. A lot of people want to make that profit that month. They want to make profit next week, but just think about the next month after that or the next week after that, right? And just take it one step at a time. You don't need to risk it all on this setup. This setup might work, yes, but it might also not work, right? So is it worth losing your account? Is it worth losing all your money, right?
It's 13
You
hours.
have to stop gambling. You have to stop gambling, really. So keep working and don't quit. Like, it's just very simple. Like when you're going through a losing streak, like just keep putting in the work. Just keep working. Just show up every day. Show up every day. Show up every day. Show up every day. Take the trades, the next one, the next one, the next one. Keep working, keep working, keep working, keep working. Like that's the only thing you can do. You can only improve, right? Like I said, when I started out trading, even though I didn't blow my account, right? Even though I didn't blow my account, I was not still making any money, right? My technical analysis was not that good. My analysis in general was not that good. My approach to the markets was not, my psychology was not that good, right? And it has improved over time. Why? I kept on working on it. I kept on making adjustments, improvements. So year one is not going to be the same as year two, and so on and so on and so on and so on, right? The longer you work on this craft, the better you get, right? Which means you're always going to improve. You're always going to improve. You're always, always going to improve. So the only thing you can do to keep getting better is to keep working, keep trying to improve your strategy, keep trying to improve your understanding of the markets, study more, do more. And that's really where you get better. You will never be perfect, but you can be one of the best, right? That's all. So the next one is very, 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 very important, which is to not blow your account. You need to have capital to take the next trade. Maintaining that capital protection, assets protection, asset management, whatever you want to call it, is very important, right? So why are you blowing your account? You're getting emotional. You're going in, risking. You're like, if I lose the money, I lose them. What you're doing is you're spending more. You're forcing yourself to spend more because now you have to go and seek capital again to reinvest into the markets when you could have just protected the one you have and spared yourself the stress of having to spend more, right? So stop making yourself spend more. Just protect what you have. Take your time, right? And you need to handle pressure and you need to focus on positive self-talk. So like when you start talking down on yourself, like when you start having all these doubts and you start telling yourself all these negative things, right? Thinking you're not good enough, or you'll never be able to succeed in this thing, or whatever, right? You need to check yourself. You need to be able to check yourself and just big up yourself, believe in yourself, right? Just positive, tell yourself positive shit all the time, right? You just need to tell yourself positive shit all the time, right? And you need to talk yourself out of your losing streak or get out of your head. You need to be able to handle your emotions, handle the pressure, and understand that there's an abundance of opportunities. So next week, there's going to be a setup. Tomorrow, there's going to be a setup. Next month, there's like trades. You're never going to run out of trades. But for some reason, people tend to focus on the trades that they're in at the moment, and they never look for something else, right? The trade that you're so invested in, if you just took the time to look through the other currency pairs or the other markets, you would probably find a setup that is so much better than the one that you're in currently. And you execute on that one. And then now you have two trades. One can fail you, one can make you money. One can make you money, one can fail you. Both of them can fail you, both of them can make you money, right? But you have options. So this is how to handle a losing streak. And this is just basically everything you need to basically like know when it comes to trading. This is basically the truth and nothing but the truth, right? So I'll just end this video here because like there's a lot of background noise coming in right now and I've come to the end of the presentation as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment. Let me know your thoughts in the comment and, you know, just tell me what else you need to see. If you have any questions as well, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to all of you. I'll get back to all of you. So share the video as well. Share the video as well. I'll see you guys in the next one.